Right. How was everyone's weekend? Anything fun, exciting? Uneventful. Well, at least next weekend we got Super Bowl, right?
Right.
Super Bowl next week. Who you guys rooting for? Huh?
My car broke down last
Oh, no, what happened?
transmission.
Ah,
Man,
is it a stick shift or is it automatic?
automatic.
You had transmission issues?
Yeah.
The heck? What's going on, man?
Okay.
Yeah, not fun, man. Sorry to hear that. All right, so we're going to be launching our Ignite curriculum. Session 1, Spark Your Career. One of the most exciting parts about real estate is when you start, right? The eagerness of being part of an amazing organization such as Keller Williams. So I'm not going to need that. Let me make sure. I think we have someone on Zoom. Anyone rooting for any of the two teams that are playing next week? It's the Eagles and the Kansas Chiefs. No one?
I just want the stadium to blow
Saquon.
up. Yeah, Saquon's the only one I'm rooting.
I hear you. No worries. I'm not going for either of them. I'm not an Eagles fan and I'm not a Chiefs fan. I'm a Chicago Bear fan,
Oh, okay.
you know, but obviously they tanked this year, so nothing good.
Right.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and get started. If you don't know who I am, my name is Cazares. I'm going to be your instructor for today's curriculum. The cool thing is we have a bunch of instructors going to come in and start teaching classes. So these are the fundamentals. These are the basic stuff, but it's really just a launch of getting you into production. The goal is to always be learning based. The goal is always to go out there and find business. The goal in place is for you to start building momentum and traction to your business, okay? And the more you're out there promoting yourself, the most likelihood that's going to happen is you're going to start seeing results. Okay? How many people want to do 20 transactions this year? Raise your hand. How many want to do 15 transactions? Okay, all of you should be raising your hand. The reason is because the beauty of real estate, it's very easy to make 150 minimum your first year. 150 your first year. Now it's not going to happen easy for you. Okay, you got to humble yourself. You got to be always looking for the next opportunity, right? Speaking with buyers, speaking with investors, speaking with sellers. Okay. This is again a launch pad for you to start really building the excitement of how to become a real estate professional. You don't know what you don't know, but we're going to get you there. Okay. So buckle up, guys. It's going to be an exciting time. All right, let's go ahead and we have to put a disclaimer. Part of the lawsuits that have transpired throughout all brokerages, warning that you must comply with the TCPA and any federal, state, or local laws, including for business-to-business relationships, calls, texts, never call a text number on the do not call list. And do not use any auto dialers or artificial voices like AI as an example. Okay, because that's what's getting people in trouble. We had an incident maybe about 2 years ago. One of our top agents was doing cold calling. He happened to reach to someone that started asking a question, and he spilled the beans and just asked a lot of questions. What ended up happening is we got a lawsuit from this particular person that said that he was part of the do not call list and that our agent was involved in communicating with him on the list that should have been on the do not call list. So after kind of putting it aside, we didn't think much. We got another second letter stating the fact if you don't take the initiatives and pay me, I think it was like $5,000. I'm gonna have no choice but to take you to complaint and sue you. You know, and then the suit was gonna be for like $25,000. Well, when that happened, you know, we had no choice. We brought it to our legal team. And our legal team indicated this particular person was doing this on a consistent basis. He was a fraudster. He was a scammer. But ultimately, he was in the right. He was using that number as a decoy to get people entrapped. So the best practice, okay, if you are part of a do not call list that you don't know, this is why it's important to scrub the list. And if you don't know, to be very careful. If someone says, you know, please remove a number from your database, part of the do not call list, right? Then you respectfully say, my sincere apologies. I will make sure that myself in the office is aware that this number is registered on the do not call list. Okay, and that's it. Hang up, and then you just do your business, right? But it's when you start asking more questions, and also there's always a little red alert too as well. If something doesn't feel right, please make sure that you don't add to it as much, right? Bring it to our attentions and let the office know if this particular number is part of the do not call. We have a list that we carry all of the numbers, so that way we can provide it to other agents as well. Okay. That's what this disclaimer is. Fair housing as well, scams and all that fun stuff. Copyrights. All right, so part of the curriculum here, okay. Market Center Ignite, 3 hours to facilitate learning. Okay, so we're gonna throw a lot, it's like a water hose, folks, okay? Now, I wanna caution you, right? This is a great time to engage, ask a lot of questions, right? Because there's a lot of stuff that we're gonna throw at you, right? How do I get a buyer? How do I consult with the buyer? How do I get a listing? How do I win with the seller? How do I win with the buyer? What is the process of hosting an open house? What is the ins and outs to facilitate a negotiation, a win-win? There's a lot of things that you have to understand and ultimately be engaged so that way you can navigate this as smooth as possible. So that way you win and close more deals, okay? Because we're in it to win, we're in it to ultimately close more deals. So there's going to be a lot of curriculum. Every week for the next month and a half, we're going to have 3 Ignite sessions. One on Monday, one on Tuesday, one on Thursday, 2 to 4. Make sure we're on time. Make sure that you're engaged. Make sure that you're plugged in and be part of this, okay? Because myself or an instructor may ask a question. If you don't know, if you're not paying attention, it's going to compromise, okay? This is a class participation at the end of the day, okay? When you interact with us, we can now navigate. Remember, all of us who have gone through the path, right, like including myself, I understand. I was sitting there one time many years ago. So I understand that a lot of it can be overwhelming. A lot of it be confusing. A lot of the stuff is like, I don't know. I don't feel comfortable, right? This is where you want to ultimately start opening up and asking the questions so you don't make mistakes when you're in front of your clients. Make all the mistakes here, folks. Everything here. This is okay. But out there, you want to sharpen your skill sets because that's going to be your beginning of your awesome career in real estate. Does that make sense? Okay. But you also have to open up and relax, okay, what we call break the ice. Breaking the ice will definitely give you a perspective to how to navigate the win-win in all real estate transactions. Meaning that it's not always about talking about real estate, okay? If I meet you for the first time and I introduce myself, I'm Simon, what's your name? David, pleasure to meet you. So what brings you into class today?
And we literally having a conversation.
Yeah, we're just having a dialogue. So you're here to learn, right? Fantastic. What do you do for a living, by the way?
Property management.
Property management, interesting. How long have you been doing property management?
almost 20 years.
20 years. Awesome. That's amazing. Property management has its ups and downs, probably a lot of headaches to it too as well, right? Awesome. Well, thank you for sharing. That's awesome, right? Again, that's going to open up a dialogue, and then what's going to happen, David is probably going to ask me the same thing. Well, what do you do for a living? Right? I'm in real estate. I work for an amazing real estate company called Keller Williams. Have you heard of them? Right? And my job is again to kind of soft through that conversation. Okay. I'm not going to be salesy. I'm not going to be pushy. But what I'm going to do is provide them with some level of service. Meaning, hey, is it okay if I give you my business card? Okay. Or if you need any type of real estate questions to answer, please let me know. I'm here to help. If you know of anyone that's thinking of buying, selling, and investing, please let me know, right? You're providing value. You're providing a service, right? And at the end, if you give your business card and you never hear from this guy ever again, that's okay. Remember, it's a contact sport every single time. Every single time. When you're out there in the field, every opportunity is a gold mine for you because you don't know where your next deal is coming from. Does that make sense? Okay. And again, I wanted to be open here so that way you feel the that the information is vital to your business. All right, so skills to spark your real estate career. Real estate expert. What does that mean? Anyone?
But we are meant to know everything about the law when it comes to real estate.
Pretty much, yeah. You're an expert in your own line of field, right? You know, you have knowledge, you have experience, you understand. You can articulate a conversation when someone asks you, right? Real estate expert, it could be anything. You can be an expert in property management. You can be an expert as a mechanic. You can be an expert as a firefighter, a pilot, a carpenter, a plumber, okay, a teacher, or sales, right? There's many types of sales, right? Selling sunglasses, prescription glasses, clothing, shoes, ties, watches, right? All of it is sales, right? But in order to start generating opportunities, you're trying to close the gap, right? Because when you close the gap, they're ready to buy, they're ready to sell, they're ready to invest. How do we get them to that level, right? People will do business with you when they trust you and like you. Okay? Would you do business with someone that you don't like? No, never. Will you do business with someone you don't trust? Of course not, right? But when you feel that urgency that this person is a good fit, you're going to see the value. You're going to say, yeah, you know what? I believe that Simon or David can help me. So I want to utilize his service. Lead generation, okay? One of the most vital parts of your business. You got to start learning how to lead gen, okay? Lead gen is the core of all businesses. Let me repeat it. Lead generation is the core to all business. Think of your favorite restaurant, okay? Think of a favorite restaurant. What attracts you to that restaurant?
The
Okay.
food,
Yeah,
ambiance,
yeah,
who else goes there?
yeah. Food, the quality of the food, customer service, how they take care of you. And I'm talking any restaurant. I'm not just talking your fast food, right? Your McDonald's or your Chick-fil-A's or your Burger Kings and all that. I'm just talking in general. You go there because of something, right? Either because of the food, because of the marketing, or because of the customer service, right? Now, in our perspective as real estate professionals, we're not in the restaurant business, we're in the real estate business, right? So you have to have the upper knowledge and understanding how to maneuver that conversation to lead them to get excited, to want to buy, to want to invest. And also the knowledge that you provide, the understanding of the initial process to help your client sell their home, get them to their next chapter of their life. You got to know how to maneuver that conversation. So lead generation is one of the most vitals of this industry. Lead follow-up, I can tell you from personal experience. Okay, most, if not all agents lack follow-up. Lack it. You may get 100 leads, but I can tell you, you're gonna fall short when it comes to follow-up. So how do you have a balance of lead gen? You're getting leads, but how do you facilitate the follow-up? You have to have a system in place, folks. If it's a calendar, if it's a notepad, if it's a journal, if it's on your computer, whatever, you need to have a system because they're gonna fall through the cracks, okay? Now, there's a couple characteristics, right? And those characteristics of a follow-up is, let's see here, is a simple component that I'll share with you. Okay, so let me erase this real quick. Okay. So all right, CWH. Okay. C stands for cold. W stands for warm. And H stands for hot. Okay. C for cold, W for warm, H for hot. Okay. When you're talking to someone, you got to know their motivation. Okay. If you're hosting an open house as an example, right? And you had a great open house and you had 50 families that stopped by in the last 2 hours or 3 hours that you were hosting an open house. And let's say that out of those 50, you had 30 solid conversation because 20 of them kind of fell through the cracks, let's just say, right? But you had 30 solid conversation. Now your job as a real estate professional is to embed that information, program in your mind, what category are each of these individuals? Are they cold? Are they warm? Are they hot? Now let's break it down into segments. If you're having a conversation with someone and you say, what do you think of the home? Are you ready to make an offer on it? Do you like this home? What do you think of the home? Does it hit all the bells and whistles? Right? David, I'm going to use you as an example. Come up here real quick. Okay? Just because you're in a suit and tie. Let's give David a round of applause. Okay? So I'm going to use David as an example. Okay? So I'm hosting an open house, right? My job is, what's the whole purpose of me hosting an open house? Because one, I want to find out what category each person that comes into my open house. Okay? But more so, my job is to find out the motivation because I want someone that's what? Hot. I want someone that's ready to buy, ready to sell, ready to invest. And if they're not, then I have to put them either on a warm or cold. But either of these two is also going to be part of your follow-up. Because they may not be ready right this minute, but they're eventually going to want to buy something. But you got to figure out what position they're in. So David is coming into the open house. First thing I'm going to do, David, I don't know him. Hi, pleasure to meet you. Thank you for stopping by. How did you hear about the open house?
I saw the sign outside.
Awesome. So my signs work. Fantastic. Well, if I can have you register here on my list, just part of the process. Boom, boom, boom. Let me give you a flyer. This property is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,500 square feet on a 6,500 lot. The home was built in 1955. The house has been completely renovated. It's listed for $1,200,000. Okay, been on the market just a couple of days. So have a look. If you have any questions, please let me know. He does this thing, right? Now, my job is to make sure that I, promote people coming in, but I also want to make sure that he doesn't fall off the cracks too, and then he sneaks out, right? So you want to have a strategy because you want to get some dialogue. Because remember, we're trying to put them in different categories, right? I already got his name, so it's David. David, so what'd you think of the house?
I'm looking for something bigger.
Something a little bigger. Okay, are you looking in this neighborhood?
Pretty open, 20-mile radius from here.
20-mile radius. Okay, that's a big spread there. Okay, awesome. Have you been pre-approved for a loan already?
Yes.
Are you working with an agent?
No, not yet.
No. Okay, fantastic. How soon are you looking to buy?
Within the next 30, 60 days.
30, 60 days. Pause. 30, 60 days. What category are we putting him? Hot. Why? He's motivated, right? Okay. If he says, oh no, 6 months from now, oh no, 1 year from now, then that changes where I'm gonna put and place him, right? Because my goal is from CWH is to get him one step closer to hot. If he's cold, I wanna get him at least to warm. If he's warm, I wanna get him to hot. How do we do that is dialogue and conversations.
So if I wasn't pre-approved, but want to, would that be like warmish or?
Not necessarily, because again, the next question is if you would have said, hey, David, are you pre-qualified?
No.
No, okay. Are you looking to get pre-qualified now?
Yes.
Okay, fantastic. I got a couple of lenders that can get you pre-qualified. Let me put you in connection with the lender. The lender will reach out to you. I got two amazing lenders that you can talk to. That way you get different perspective, and the one that you feel more comfortable with, then you can go on to the next step. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So again, just because someone is not pre-qualified doesn't necessarily mean he is not willing to do so. Remember, our job is to pull him to work with us, right? Or work with me. But also want to see his motivation, because again, always think of these three letters: cold, warm, hot. Because if he says, you know what, I like this, I'm not working with an agent, I want to submit an offer, fantastic. That's an exciting day, right? That's a hot person. Now, if let's say that David says, no, you know what, I'm just looking. Okay, so again, having the skill says, have you been looking for a while? Okay. If I was to find the right home that hits all the bells and whistles, David, would that motivate you to get the process going?
Yeah.
And if he says, I depends, I don't think so. I'm gonna put him still on the cool side, right? But again, I want to eventually see where his trigger points or his pain points are to get him to get to the hot. Because again, not all conversations, ladies and gentlemen, are gonna lead to a hot. Some of them are just wishy-washy, and I'll be honest, are just looky-loos. They're just going there just to look. They have no intention whatsoever, but we gotta filter that out. That's my job. That's what you're doing and hosting an open house for the purpose to see what their motivation is. Because I might not be in alignment with David. Maybe David doesn't want to work with me, and that's okay. But if I don't at least make the engagement and at least try to find out where his motivation, then what's the point in doing an open house? Because if he is going to buy, not now, but in the near future, then we need to focus on, again, the follow-up that leads to transactions. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yes or yes?
Yes.
Absolutely. Question in the back.
So is that the steps that you would like to get them pre-qualified first before you start taking them to warm or hot?
Well, it all really depends on the situation. Okay, I've learned through the years of doing this, I am not going to put time, effort, and energy until they at least do what they need to do. Because I'm not going to go show property
And
if
then
they're not pre-qualified, because I don't know if he even qualifies. I don't know if his credit is good. I don't know if it's income. I don't know if he has history. So there's a lot of questions, but again, I'm going to ask those questions. David, so you want to buy? Okay, so let me ask you just a couple of questions. You know, where are you comfortable with your mortgage payment or your monthly payments, right? David is going to come back, well, I feel comfortable around $7,000. Okay, great, great. Do you have a down payment? Okay, do you have enough for a closing cost? Do you have enough now for paying a commission, right? All of these are important components to ultimately see where he's at. Because then I have to know how to maneuver the conversation. Am I going to put him as a first-time home buyer with a 3.5% down payment? Or does he have the means to put a 20% down and have a conventional loan? Maybe he's a military veteran and I can get him on a VA loan. But if I'm not asking these questions, I will never know, okay? That's the whole avenue. So I hope that kind of answers your question.
So if I have a lead for a buyer, what step should I connect him with, Chris first?
Yeah, so
Before I-
again, well, remember, part of the process now is consulting, right? So in an open house, it's basically just a warm conversation, but you're not gonna sit, Debbie, you can sit down, thank you. Let's give David a round of applause. So it's not necessarily that you're gonna have a consultation. You may, if the open house is super slow, that you may have time to really sit down and talk to them. But let's just say that you got a lot of people coming in and out, and you don't want to miss an opportunity, because if you miss that opportunity, right? That person may be the one that was motivated, but because you didn't connect with them, they may say, oh, this person is a little too busy. And that happens. Okay, I'll be the first to admit, it happens all the time. Where I've seen open house, especially during COVID, we had literally 30, 40 people coming and seeing homes, right? I don't know if we'll ever see that, but let's just say if you put a property that's super hot and it's like, yeah, people want to make an offer on it, you may get busy. And because you're so entrenched in this person, the person that really does want to buy it may go find another agent. So remember, each and every one, like I see here, there's 4, 6, 7 people on this call, including people on Zoom. I have 6 people on Zoom. Those are all opportunities. So this is why you have to know how to time manage and be able to maneuver, because again, you might not be able to get all of your answers on that quick open house, but this is why you want to get their phone number, their email address, and their name, so you can do a follow-up. Because after your open house, I'm going to follow up. Because I'm done at 4, and then I'm going to get and scrub the list of all of the people that sign on my registry, right? Because now my next question would be, hey, this is Simon. I just wanted to reach out and thank you for coming over to the open house today on 123 ABC Street. I know that this house didn't hit all the bells and whistles, but I know we had a brief conversation that you are motivated to buy. And let's take it to the next step. When can we meet to sit down really and have a 45 to an hour conversation on what the next step and process of getting you closer to your home? Okay, then that's where you follow up. Once you consult with them, if they're ready and they ask you, I don't have a lender, can you send me? Then absolutely take them over to one of our lenders, or start building relationships with other lenders. That's how you start building your team.
Like what we have, like certain ones, like Kevin Williams here at the office, you just.
Yeah, you can use anyone that you want. Sorry about that. Yeah, you can use any lender that you want. It's open. You want to be the bus driver, right? You want to be the lead driver, right? As you open up the door, you want to bring in the right people to your team. This is the people on your bus. That's your lenders. That's your in-house escrow. That's your in-house TC. That's your in-house broker. That's your KW office. That's your title company. That's your home inspection company. You start building the people that you want to surround yourself in the bus, because these are the people that you're going to be driving with for the next several years. And the beauty, folks, is the people you put in your bus, guess what you can do? Open up the door and let them out and get a new person, or add to it. Does that make sense? Utilize the services, folks. Someone else have a question? You had a question?
I just wanted to ask, how could we check if somebody, if he doesn't know, if he's pre-approved and,
Ask.
yeah.
Yeah, I would ask, are you pre-approved for a loan?
Yeah,
If the answer is yes,
but if he doesn't know, then how can we check?
how would he not know? Because you have to go through a process. He has to speak with the lender. He has to provide a run of his credit check. He needs to provide his financials, bank statements, tax year returns, all that to start going through the process.
Yeah,
He needs to also get a pre-approval letter as well. So if he's gone through the process, then he should be able to provide you with, here's my letter of pre-approval or approval itself.
But if he just walked by to see the house, because he's in the sign and he walked in, then
Yeah.
Maybe he doesn't know yet, so.
Yeah, and that's fine. I can walk into an open house. I can walk into an open house and not be pre-approved, But then when I see the house, it's like, oh my gosh, this house hits all of the bells and whistles. It's priced where I feel comfortable. It's in the area that I love. I love that it has all these amenities. I want to submit an offer. And I've done that many, many times. Where sometimes I buy right there on the spot. Not necessarily, but I start the initial process. That's why it's great to start doing open house, folks, because you just never know who your next buyer is going to be. But going back to your question, yes, yeah, they may not be pre-approved, but because they saw the house, they got excited. And that's where it's all about urgency, okay? Everything that we do in real estate is all about urgency, okay? Because if you prolong it, you drag it, they're gonna go and find someone else that's gonna give them what they want. So remember, you gotta be like that firefighter, that paramedic type of mentality, right? And weed them out. If they're motivated, you put them in a category, right? Whatever they are, cold, warm, or hot, okay? Because then that's gonna focus on how much of level of service you're gonna be entertaining. Because if you got someone that's not ready to buy, you're gonna put all the time, effort, and energy to get them into escrow. Talk to your top agents, and I can tell you, your top agents, that's what they're doing on a regular basis, systematically and consistently. Okay, that's how you get to this level of more transactions. Okay, this is what the ultimate goal from beginning is to do deals, right? Deals leads to income. All right, so remember this again. Where are they? C, W, or H. Okay, not that complex, right? Or create your own style. Maybe you want to use numbers instead, and that's the way how you comprehend it. It doesn't matter to me, but you got to put them in different parameters to ultimately get them and see what their motivation is. What if a buyer was not approved by the lender? How can we help them and not let them, let's see, why isn't this feel discouraged? Oh, feel and discouraged about it. Okay, so that's a good question.
Did they find a cheaper property?
Yeah, so the cool thing and the awesome part of it, folks, is this, okay? One component is this. One of my top agents here, man. 1 second. My man, good to see you, bro. How's everything? Awesome. Everything good?
Yeah.
Awesome. Teaching Ignite.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. Good to see you, man. Oh, yeah? One of our commercial guys, new guy, he's probably 30. They get almost $1 million in commissions. Big money. They have I think a $35 million resort that they're selling. Yeah. So it's pretty impressive. All right, so back to the question. What if a buyer was not approved by the lender? How can we get them not to feel discouraged about it? Okay, well, remember, we're not pushing. We're here to provide service. We're consultants at the end of the day, okay?
You
So
didn't
the
have
way
snow
we make
last
people
night.
feel will dictate their motivation if they want to work with you. But remember, not everyone is going to want to work with you.
On your face.
Not that they don't like you, they just may not be in the position that they feel comfortable with you. How do you break the ice, right? Well, in essence, is in order for someone to get motivated is you have to provide what we have value, right? This is why you be in communications with the lender. Ask the lender, what programs do you have that I can pitch and promote at my open house? Oh, we have the 10% down payment with incentives for closing costs or buy down rate. We have a 5% with a very low interest rate, right? Ask them what programs they have so that way you can now have a legitimate conversation. Not that you're an expert in lending because you're going to refer them to the lender, but you can say, hey, or even invite the lender. I've seen many times, folks, where a lender goes to an open house and then now they can have a conversation there.
They never came back today or what?
Okay, some will, some won't.
No.
Or have the lender prepare a
No text,
breakdown
no
of what the
call,
monthly
no email,
their
nothing.
interest rate, their closing cost, and just giving them an example of what we call the PITI. Principal what is it?
Call your plumber.
I already forgot, principal, taxes and insurance, but I'm missing principal, interest, taxes and insurance. Okay? The PITI, meaning that's what your mortgage payment is. Because again, if that payment is too high, then maybe this home may not be the right price point, right? We may have to look at something less. You don't know.
Well,
I've seen-
no, he's gonna say the same thing. He won't be able to
Would
be
qualify,
elected.
they come in and they don't look like they qualify, but they qualify because they have great jobs.
This out right here, water,
Make great money.
if there's any water above.
And
or-
probably have a good decent down payment. So the essence of the big thing is
Pull light off or anything?
how you maneuver
Huh?
You
motivation,
take the
right?
light off at
It
all?
starts with you at the end of the day.
Off the lid,
Any
but
other questions?
The entire lid?
All right, someone's
Just the lid.
microphone is
you're able
open.
to twist it off.
Let's see.
With the white part?
It's Lily. All right, let me mute everyone. Thank you for letting us know. All right. All right, let's continue. Okay, so here are the categories, right? Real estate expert, you're gonna spark your career. Then the next class tomorrow will be embrace your job. These are all of the classes and curriculum that you're gonna be part of. Really exciting. Okay, in order for you to graduate, you gotta show up at least 80% to be able to get a certificate of completing the Ignite curriculum. Okay, so we'll start with the first one, spark your career. All right, so today's agenda is going to go into a couple components, all right? The KW culture, the KW resources, the daily success system, a new way of thinking, okay? KW value that we have as part of the market center, your career vision, what that looks like in the near future, and then we're gonna recap and just bring some ahas to the curriculum, okay? Are you guys ready? Okay, embrace it, enjoy it, be open-minded, and just have fun today, guys, okay? This is interacting, this is fun. I'm gonna share a little bit of myself too, and my story and my journey as well, because I think it's important, because all of us have a journey. How we started, where we started and where we're ultimately are at, right? I never thought of myself being a team leader running a multi-million-dollar company with 500 agents. But it's because I focus on what I wanted in life, right? And that could be you. You can be me, a team leader, a broker. You know, you can do whatever you want. That's the beauty. You can climb the ladders, become a mentor. You can become a productivity coach. You can start your team. You can be a broker. There's so many things that can align with this. So the quote from Gary Keller says, anyone can do it. Not everyone will you? Good one, right? Anyone can do it. Not everyone will. The question is, are you willing? I know when I was a 20-year-old kid, I wanted this. Now, this was not the career path that I really wanted to. But when I had it, I ran with it. And I have not looked back. 29 years later, I'm still doing something that I have a passion. And I know what this career can bring to you. Get excited. Now you're going to have obstacles. You're going to have walls that you're going to hit. You're going to hit some frustration. When the deal doesn't go through, the deal falls out, the deal gets canceled, escrow gets canceled, right? And all of the time, effort, and energy that you put into it went down the drain. But remember, at the end of the day, folks, it's a numbers game. It's a contact sport. The more people you're having conversations with, the likelihood that you are going to get someone that's going to say, yes, I want to buy. Yes, I want to sell. Yes, I want to invest. Okay. This is a great thing to have as a regular. Okay. You want to be inspired. You want to be motivated. Then you need to have and surround yourself with positive people. I think this is a great statement. Anyone can do this. You've already got one of the toughest things is your real estate license, right? Now let's take it to the next step and start doing deals. Because once you start doing deals, then there's a next step, right? And that next step is the money that comes from it. Because once you start making really good money in real estate, now you can start investing in yourself and buying real estate. If you're helping buyers achieve wealth in real estate, you should be doing the same thing. That's where you want to get excited. Because when you're ready to exit real estate in the future, you want to build that platform, guys. And the leverage that real estate can provide you. Think of a house like a piggy bank. Every month that you're putting and paying your mortgage, right? It's like putting money in a piggy bank. And eventually that piggy bank gets big, right? Because of all the money that you put into this piggy bank. Well, real estate is the same element to that. Can I share with you how that is? Every month that you're paying your mortgage, you're doing what? Reducing the mortgage fee. But also on the flip side of this, you're also building what's called equity. You're building equity on the property. You're reducing your mortgage, but you're also building equity. You can't do that with the car. You may spend $50,000 on the car, right? But as soon as you drive it off the dealership, what happens to that car? It depreciates in value. It's considered a used car now. Even though you may have half a mile on it, it still depreciates, believe it or not. It's not a brand new car anymore. It's crazy, but the reality, that's what it is. But if you buy real estate, you might have instant equity. How about that? How many times have you bought a car and your car is worth more money than what you bought it for? Very far and few and rare, right? But real estate can be that platform, folks. Or even buying an investment house, right, as multifamily, but you sacrifice for a year or 2 years and move into one of the units and let the other tenants pay your mortgage. I was one of them that did it at 23. I bought a 4-unit apartment complex in Ontario. Rough neighborhood, didn't like it, but I bought it at a price that I could afford, $375,000. 375, 4 units, 2 bedrooms, 2 baths, upstairs and downstairs.
You still own it today?
No, I kept myself that I don't. I ended up selling it just before the market meltdown of 08. I sold it in 2006. I bought it, when did I buy it? Like in 96, 97. I was 23 at that time. And yeah, sold it just before the market. The buyer that bought it after me ended up foreclosing. They lost it during the 2008 market meltdown. But I also found out that that property now is worth like I saw it on the market maybe 2-3 years ago for like 1.4.
How much did you sell it for?
I sold it. I don't remember. I think I sold it for 8 something.
Oh, so you made half a million.
Yeah, yeah. So that's the only reason. The only reason I sold it was because one of the other owners was selling one, and I said, "Holy moly, they're selling it for that." Then I got that mentality: if I sell it, I can pull this money and I can start investing on more properties. But I'm foolish. But I was naive too, folks. Okay, I kicked myself. I should have kept them. My rental income was $825 per unit. The previous owner had them less than me, but I eventually evened them all out and had them all uniform, because eventually I vacated and then I bought another property and then I put a tenant in my unit. But in order for me to qualify, I bought this FHA, 3.5%, owner occupied, moved into one, but the rest of the 3 units were paying my mortgage. You know what my mortgage was? Like $500. But I had an asset. Think of the opportunities around that. Okay. But I wish I wouldn't have sold them because they would have been paid off. And now market rent there is about 25 or maybe 2,800 per unit. I think maybe even more. Imagine 25, 25, 25, 25. That's all revenue. You have a free and clear mortgage. The only thing you're paying for is property insurance, property taxes, insurance, and probably maintenance. And then obviously you want to put some money for things that break, plumbing issues or this or that, right? But you're still building cash flow. That money can now use as income. You can go buy more real estate because that's income, or just put it aside and be your retirement money. Okay? Because what happens every year, rent goes up, right? Tenants unfortunately have to pay. That's the exciting part of it. Okay. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and 6. You want to build what we call the 6 personal perspectives, okay? And in order for you to achieve the 6 personal perspectives is commit to mastery, okay? Every day you should commit on what that looks like. If you're going to be the expert and be the best version of yourself, get out of your comfort zone. And I know it's going to be tough, folks, but you got to get out of that comfort zone and just go make chaos out there. That's how you're going to start learning. That's how you're going to start seeing achievements. That's where you're going to start seeing results. When you just throw yourself out there and do it. Yes, you're going to make errors, you're going to make mistakes, but that's where we help you. You're willing to take one step forward, one step forward, one step forward. You're going to eventually hit. Does that make sense? So you commit to self-mastery. Commit to the 80-20 principle, okay? And we're going to talk a little bit about that, right? Focus on what you want to focus, all right? And you'll see the results. Move from E to P, all right? We'll talk a little bit about that too in the next couple slides. Number 4, make being learning-based and foundation of your action plan. Yeah, here is a perfect example. This is learning-based. You're in class, you're training. It's like going back to high school, college, right? You're back to the fundamentals. And I'm surprised that we don't have more and more agents in this curriculum. This training should be full of agents here, but that's okay. I commend and I appreciate you for being here. Okay? And who knows, maybe tomorrow we'll get more people. Because I have a couple more classes that I'll be teaching as part of the curriculum. But also, remember, you're going to have some amazing instructors here giving you their life experience, right? That sometimes doesn't even align with this, but just sharing their stories and how they became successful and how they became producing agents. And then one of the most important, number 5, removing limited beliefs. Oh, that doesn't work. I don't see any results from that, you know. That's not going to work. That's not going to bring me any opportunities. Remove it, because there's faucets to everything that we do. Okay. But in order for you to remove those limited beliefs is like you get them out of your head. The cool thing, most of you here are new. So you don't know. We're going to give you good habits. Eventually, you're going to create your own way and style and how you do it. And that's fine. That's what most of us do. But until we get there and you get there, you got to do the basics and what we say you need to do. That's simple. Hold yourself accountable, but also hold yourself accountable to your family. Because they're your biggest cheerleaders supporting you through this endeavor. Okay? And that's where accountability comes into play. You have to be accountable to all your actions. If you're going to commit to this, commit to it. If not, then don't commit. Don't even start it as an example. Because if you're going to be one of the 1%ers that survives real estate, congratulations. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to be transparent with you. Most of you will probably not succeed in real estate. Fact. Most of you will not survive 2 to 3 years. Fact. Most of you will probably dabble but will not be the 1%. Fact. Most of you, unfortunately, will find another career. Fact. Okay. How do you change that? You, your mindset. I've been doing this for 29 years. I've been with Keller Williams 10 years. I've seen amazing agents come and go. Okay, fact. I'm not here to discourage you, but I'm telling you the reality. Because if you're willing to take whatever to succeed, then I can promise you, you're going to succeed. You're going to be one of those 1%ers that survive this industry. Fact. Because it takes money to make money. Fact. You're in business. Think about opening up a restaurant. Can you do it with no money? A retail store, can you do it with no money? A car dealership, can you do it without money? A clothing line, a shoe line, selling cell phones, selling watches. You need money to make money, right? Well, the truth of the matter is, why do real estate agents believe that they can do this without having those resources and the income? Well, it's a business at the end of the day. The cool thing is that you don't need lots of money to do real estate and still make big, huge chunks of money. Because we take the blunt of it. That's the cool thing. But if you take ownership to it, I can promise you, you're going to make serious money. Serious money. Commit to the self-mastery. Number one, know your goals. Know your strengths and weaknesses. Know how to work with both your strengths and your weaknesses to seek and master the necessary knowledge, skills, and habits to reach your goals. We all have goals, right? I hope so. Yeah. But you also have to understand your strengths and weaknesses. I have strengths and weaknesses. You have strengths and weaknesses as well. Identify them. Whatever you're good, run with it. What we call superpowers. What are your superpowers? Right? And if you have superpowers, then you use that and you leverage it and you run with it. But if you have weaknesses, we also have to identify those weaknesses too. And that's okay. You cannot be the all person package deal. That's why you leverage yourself and maneuver and navigate to make it a win. Okay? Commit to your 80-20. This is important. 20% of your actions leads to 80% of your results. Yeah. If you were just to focus 20% of your efforts, that will create the results of 80%. Instead of the reverse, spending 80% to get 20%. Focus on the one thing that you want to focus and run with it, you'll see 80% results from it. If you're going to be farming, if you're going to be lead generating, if you're going to be doing open houses, if you're going to be hitting your database, you're going to be hitting businesses, network events, hitting your families and friends and colleagues, right? All of those are great sources. Focus on it and run with it. Focus 20% of it, you'll see the result. That's simple. Remember, real estate is not rocket science. It's not. It's just putting people together that want to buy, that want to sell. That's it. Your job is to put them together, folks. That's it. Don't overthink it. Don't overcomplicate this. It's just meet and greet, put two deals together. If you work with the buyer, you work with the seller, or a combination of both. You put it together. You're like the transaction engineer. That's who you are. Okay? You're listing a property, you're going to market the property, you're going to host the open house, you're going to negotiate and help navigate all offers that come in, because the goal is to get the property in escrow so you get paid when you close the deal. But there's steps to get to that level. It doesn't happen overnight. Okay. One of the early mistakes that I made when I first started in real estate is spend too much money and resources, subscription marketing. Understood that most of the time that best resources are actually free. 100%. Thank you for sharing. Yep. So true. So true. Don't focus on trying to be all this fancy wancy stuff, folks, okay? I have to have my website. I have to have the best headshot. I have to do this. I have to do that. No, what you need to do is go find buyers and sellers. Because when you're wasting too much time in the office trying to get the perfect realtor mindset, you're never going to succeed. While other people are closing deals left and right, you're still trying to think of how my website looks. I know, I've seen it, I've heard it, I've experienced it with agents. I can tell you one thing that my mentor told me many, many years ago, okay? And this is even before we even had technology. We didn't have smartphones. We didn't technically use, laptops. It was all desktop computers. The MLS, folks, was not on the internet. Every Friday or every Monday, CRMLS would come with an encyclopedia similar to this. And every week we would see all of the actives, pending, under contract, and sold. That's how we would get our information. So the vultures, the top agents, would be the first because they wanted to see what inventory, because we didn't have MLS, we didn't have everything on the internet. That was our MLS right there, folks. So technology has taken us places, and this is now, imagine 5 to 10 years from now, when you're now seasoned and experienced what real estate is going to look like, right? Technology is going to be advanced. Does everyone understand the commitment to the 80-20 principle? Okay. Pretty self-explanatory, right? Focus on the things that you want to focus. This expands. All right, the next is how do you move from E to P? Entrepreneurship to purposeful, right? Because guess what? All of you are entrepreneurs. All of you guys are all business, man and woman. That's an accomplishment. That's an awesome feeling. Okay, that you are a business that happens to do real estate. But how do we get from this approach to this approach? Okay, natural ceiling of achievement as an entrepreneur, right? E to P starts with components, right? Disappointments, resignations, greener pastures, and the cycle of continuance. Sorry. The purposeful approach, doing what comes unnatural. Okay. Focus, models, systems, and breakthroughs. This is powerful, folks. Because all of us can say, I'm an entrepreneur. Fantastic. That's great. You're an entrepreneur. How does that feel? But if your entrepreneurship is not building the revenue that you want, then it defeats the purpose. Because all of us can say, I actually have a business. I can say I have a business selling lemonade in my front yard. And I sell it for $5, $10, squeezing lemon. That's a business, right? But how do I thrive and make that business into something bigger? Right? Well, that goes into the P section. You got to be purposeful, intention, focus. Okay. Then all of you focus to try to get your license, right? Yeah. But you also have to have models and systems. Here's a movie that I recommend. If you haven't watched it, watch this movie. Okay. The movie is called The Founder. The Founder. Okay, the movie's called The Founder. Okay, It's about the McDonald's franchise or the McDonald's corporation. Who has seen the founder? Just one person? Two? Okay, that'll be your homework assignment.
The movie?
It's a movie. Yeah, it's a movie.
It's a good one.
It's a very inspirational movie called The Founder.
What year?
I think it was 2015.
And it was the guy who plays Batman, I can't remember his name.
Yeah.
No, before him.
Yeah,
He was the Vulture in that Spider-Man movie.
I don't remember his name, but he plays a great, he's actually, Ray Rock, I think, the founder of McDonald's Corporation. Someone have a question on Zoom? Unmute yourself. Oh,
No, I was just raising my hand too.
oh yeah, there it
Michael
is.
Keaton.
Thank you. So the founder, 2016, I was off by 1 year.
Okay.
Michael Keaton. Yeah, it's a great movie. But one of the cool things about this movie, it has practical principles in business. Okay, it's a great movie in general because it gives you a perspective in how he was able to build McDonald's to where it is now. And if you know the history of McDonald's started with two brothers out in Redlands. Two brothers started McDonald's. He was selling milkshake machines back east. And when his office got a call that a restaurant out in Redlands, California wanted to buy 6 machines, he was like, what? It must be an error. Because this was 1950s. Okay. He was having a hard time just trying to sell one machine, but someone wanted to buy 6, 7 machines. So he calls and says, hey, my name is so-and-so Ray Rock, and I just want to make sure. But you know, my office thought that you wanted to order 6 machines. And one of the brothers says, yeah, but by the way, give us 3 more or 4 more. So he was like, wow, I got to go physically to this place and find out what's going on. So he drove all the way to California to go meet up with these brothers. And the brothers had a very simple concept. Order your food and you'll have your food in less than 2 to 3 minutes. Because if you remember, back in the 50s, you would drive your car to a dining, right? You would roll your window, they would put a tray, and you had some of the restaurants, you had, you know, the waitresses riding on the roller skates, and then you would bring the food there. That's what everyone's was back then. But the 2 brothers had a different element in how they maneuver to do more business. It was a system and a model. And again, I don't want to spoil the movie, but I recommend, it's on Netflix, called The Founder. Great movie. Great movie. But remember, in order for you to achieve, you have to have a focus on what that looks like, but you have to have models, which Keller Williams has the model. That model, the rep book that she has here, Jamila, is called the Real Estate Millionaire book. Okay. I encourage all of you to order that book. You can buy that book for about $20, $25. That book has systems and models on how to build a real estate platform and ultimately get to $1 million in net income after paying all expenses. Okay.
What was the book's name again? What was the book's
I
name?
like, for me, the 2 books that I like is the Millionaire Flip and the Real Estate Investor. Then the Hold, and then it's the Millionaire Flip.
I like the blue better than yellow first.
I like the green book. It's called the Flip book.
Oh,
No, I don't have it there. But it's called the Millionaire Flip. That's my first. I like that. There's a Keller Williams Flip book. Then the next book that I like is the blue book back there. It's the Millionaire Real Estate Investor. Then from there is the Real Estate Hold. So the real estate flip book talks about how to find, identify junkers, fix them up and turn around and sell them for a profit. The real estate investor is, how do you have that mindset as an investor? How to calculate, how to run numbers and all that fun stuff. And then the real estate whole book really just gives you the component. If you find a property, you either hold it as an investment portfolio for the cash flow or rental income. And then obviously for us real estate entrepreneurs, the real estate agent book is practical systems and models to really help you achieve your goals. Okay. Now, again, it's not going to happen overnight, but eventually, little by little, you're going to understand elements and how to grow, thrive, and succeed at a very high level.
That's the Rick Delaney.
That's my breakdown, but everyone has their own preference. So Millionaire Real Estate Agent by Gary Keller. Yep, absolutely. Okay, cool.
Aren't they all by Gary Keller?
Yeah, if you go to it's called kellerinc.com.
Well, the millionaire one, this one says Rick Delaney, Clay Davis.
Yeah, but it's part of Keller Williams too. Yeah, that's the book. I'll show you after class if you want. I can show you the website where you actually get all of the books. Like the one thing up there too is another book that I highly recommend. Again, because you're so embedded into Keller Williams. All right. Thank you, Lily. So it's kellerinc.com.
Oh, that's the website.
That's the website where you can buy all the books. Yep. All right, let's go ahead and continue. All right, so making big, make a being learning base. A learning base, the foundation of your action plan, right? So ignorance base, right? Learning base. So the pursuit to leads to nowhere, right? Knowing for knowing's sake. All I know, but I know, and I ignore anything else, right? That's the ignorance base, right? Remember, everything that you do, you have to be calculated. You gotta be 2 to 3 steps ahead of the game, right? Because if you're not, then you're not gonna succeed. People are gonna see right through you. They're gonna see that you don't know, all right? It's best to say, that's a good question. I don't have the answer, but let me do a little bit of research and find out. Okay, instead of trying to guess it. And then you expose yourself and they find out, well, you're wrong. Okay, I've had my tough learning lessons throughout my career, right? And I was ignorant because I didn't know what I didn't know. So it's best not to shoot your own foot, think that you better know this. This is why you have the resources, folks, and the people that can help you. Does that make sense? Okay. So part of learning base is I know what I know, and there is more to know, right? Every time in my 29 years of doing this, I'm still learning. I don't know everything. I don't say I'm an expert. I'm knowledgeable, but I'm not an expert at everything. But if you at least know the basic formulas, the basic fundamentals of real estate, that'll take you places that you can't even imagine. Write this down. 3 things that you must learn in real estate. 3 things that you must learn in real estate. You must learn contracts. You must learn objection handlers. And you must learn negotiations. Contracts, objection handlers, and negotiations. I can tell you, if you know those 3, you're going to do well in real estate. If you're good at contracts, you're going to be able to converse with the buyer seller and explain the contracts to them. If you know negotiations, okay, you're going to be able to maneuver the win-win, right? Now remember, negotiations is not strong arming the other component. That is not a negotiation, thinking that you won, you took the advantage of it. Win-win is both. How do we all win on this? That's the winning mindset. And then objection handlers. If I say to you, I only want to give you 30 days to sell my house, how do you handle that objection? Well, David, I don't know how long you've been in real estate. You said how many years or how many months? You may not be that experienced. How do you handle that conversation? I've never heard of your real estate company. How do you handle that objection? Right? I only want to give you $500 flat fee commission to sell my house. How do you handle that conversation? Right? So there's objections that you need to learn. And the more you practice, the better you're going to get. I also recommend that you come to our Wednesday 11 o'clock role play. Every Wednesday here at the office, Eric Claudio teaches role playing, and he does 30 minutes of role playing and about 15 minutes to maybe 20 minutes of cold calling. Pick up the phone and start making calls. This morning, the Human Blue team was doing prospecting calling, and all of our team was here. I know we had a couple of agents like yourself here that were part of it. We should have saw more people. There's a lot of agents that unfortunately just do not like and don't feel comfortable picking up the phone and calling people. So if that's not your niche, then find a niche that you feel comfortable with, because again, if you're not doing any activity, you're not going to see the results. Question.
Now, Eric's class is 10:30 now. Before, not there. He
Oh.
started at 10:30.
Oh, it's 10:30?
Yeah,
Yeah, he's.
I came in at 11 last week, I was late.
Ah, so it's 10:30. My apologies.
You
Okay.
wanted more time to like actually prospect.
Got it, got it. Okay, thank you for telling me. Beautiful, even better. So then you get a full hour of it. Just because I know that we were cutting it close when it comes to sales meeting.
Yeah.
So even better, so 10:30, my apologies, 10:30 to 11:30 is, you'll get an hour of Eric and give him. And he's a young entrepreneur, got married last year. You know, he has 2 listings, one is about to close. And, you know, he's focused, he knows what he wants, and this year he wants to buy his house. And I believe he's gonna achieve it. So again, it didn't happen overnight, but it's progression, momentum, and just pushing 1 foot forward, you start seeing results. Okay. All right, so any questions regarding this slide? Albert Einstein said, "I am neither especially clever, nor especially gifted. I am only very, very curious." Think about this. All right, resonate, anchor it, bring it into your life. Do you remember as a kid, Curious George? You guys all remember Curious George?
Yeah, monkey.
The
Guy
little-
with the yellow.
Yeah, the monkey with the owner or whatever he was. But I remember as a kid. And Curious George was curious all the time. Be that Curious George in your real estate. Because as Albert Einstein says, he's not clever, he's not smart, but he was one of the most intelligent people on this planet. That even to this day after his death, we still talk about him. He wasn't gifted either. He was not a protege, right? As a 5-year-old kid, they knew he was going to be a doctor, right? Remember, what was that show in the 90s? Doogie Howser. I don't know if you guys remember Doogie. He was a protege kid. He was like 15 years old and he was a doctor working at a hospital because he was that smart. Okay? Most of us are not gifted. But what we are is curious. Think about why you got into real estate. Okay, you don't have to tell me, but tell it to yourself. Why did I get my real estate license? What was the benefit of me doing and spending so many months and getting my certifications, going to school, taking that stressful state exam, and now into a real estate company. What's the next, right? You gotta be curious. All right. Removing limited beliefs. When you unlimit your thinking, you unlimit your success. That's simple. Remember, have an open mind, be a sponge, ask a lot of questions, and that's where you're going to push yourself. Get out of your comfort zone. And you'll see results from it. Limited beliefs, I don't have enough time for training. I cannot be successful in this market. I cannot devote 3 hours each day to lead gen. Those are all limited beliefs. Find a way. Write this down. There's a solution to every matter. There's a solution to every matter. One more time. There's a solution to every matter. Okay? And there really is. Okay? There really is. I learned as a young age and many, many moons ago, my mentor says, Simon, anything and everything that you do in real estate, there's a solution to it. Okay? And that solution is for you to find out. Okay? Let's say you're trapped in this box. Okay? And it's a maze. You're frustrated. You're tired. You're anxious. You're stressed because you just cannot find a way out. And you feel like you're going in circles. That's when you need to stop and pause and restructure. Because even though you may feel that you're trapped in here, you're missing something. How many have done escape rooms? You've done escape rooms, right? Well, what's the whole purpose of an escape room? To solve, right? To be able to get out, right? And I've seen escape rooms that are challenging, some that are scary, some that are adventurous, some are like mysterious, right? But the end goal is to get out and survive, right? Well, that's the same element into you. This is all real estate. Okay? This is all real estate, but you're here. You got to go through the motions and find a solution because there is hidden gems that will tell you how to get out. It may not be visible immediately because you're still young or you're still new in real estate. But if you look closely and you focus, you will find that avenue of solution to be able to see the gap where you can now continue. This is why you get paid the big bucks to do real estate, is to be that transaction engineer, to be able to navigate a difficult process, a difficult transaction, a buyer seller that are just not in alignment, right? But there is a solution. And whatever solution that is, that's your job, folks. Find a solution. Okay? And if you still don't know that there is a gap in that solution, talk to someone that's seasoned or experienced that can give you the vision. Okay, a lot of agents here that can give you that, it's right here. This is where you need to go. Ah, got it. There's a solution to every matter. Okay. All right, one of the biggest faucets of what we do in real estate, folks, is holding yourself accountable, which is the most difficult part of real estate. Because you're independent contractor. You don't have a 9 to 5, Monday to Friday job. You can do real estate at any given time. It's your discretion. But you gotta be disciplined, and you have to hold yourself accountable. Because a lot of agents play that victim mentality. Okay? We're not victims. We take charge, and we have to take ourselves serious. If you want to see results, folks, take the job serious and go out there and make a chaos to see the results. Because victim mentality doesn't seek reality, ignorance, you're not asking enough questions, fights reality, denial. That's not the way it is. That's not how I see it. That's your perception. Blames, projections. If everybody would do their job, it's not my fault, it's yours. Why didn't you change something? Personal excuses, deflections. It's not my job. I was never given a chance. It doesn't work here. Waits and hopes. Resignation. If it was meant to be, it will happen. Time will tell. It's out of my hands.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. Wrong mentality to have. You don't want to have that victim mentality, folks, okay? You want to have ownership, right? And take the necessary steps to get you where you want to be. Okay? Because there's no place in real estate that's going to result in income if you're in this left category. This is where you're going to start seeing results. Okay, seek reality, awareness. What's the situation? How can I help? What do I need to do? Acknowledge reality. This is the way it is. Got it. I see what's going on. Let's figure out a solution. Let's make it a win-win. Okay, I understand that, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, but if we do this, this may push the buyer to succeed in getting what they want. Let's make it work. Owns it. You're full of energy and focus. If it's to be, then it must be. It's up to me, right? What do I want? This is my responsibility. I got myself into this. I need to be able to get myself out of this, okay? Find solutions. Possibilities. What are my options? How can I get what I want? What can I do? What do I need to do to service? Tell me, how do I get to that next step? Get on it with it. Action plan. Let's get it. Let's get started. Time's up. Let's go. This is what I will do. Accountable to yourself will make changes. Okay. Think of the most successful businesses out there. Your Amazons, your Costco's, your Chick-fil-A's, you know, all of these high-end Netflix as an example, right? You think they were on the left side, victim mentality? No. They don't make excuses. They own, they find, they do, they acknowledge, they seek clarity. That's the whole purpose of how you're going to succeed at this so-called real estate. Get excited, but also humble yourself. Because once you start building momentum and a little bit of traction, you may get sidetracked a little bit, okay? Bring yourself back to reality, stay focused, and go help more people. Shaw. Happiness is not an individual sport. Happiness is not an individual sport. What does that mean? What does that resonate to you?
Makes other people happy.
Yeah. Is smiling contagious?
Yes.
How many times have you walked or been at a restaurant and someone smiled at you? It's kind of a reflection, right? That you want to smile back at them, right? That's usually what happens, right? You smile, they smile, you smile. Pretty contagious, right? But also, happiness is not an individual sport. It's a team effort, right? Because imagine if this office was a lot of pissed off people, always complaining, negative, not happy. What would the morale and the environment be here? That's not where I want to work. I want to work in a place that I can interact, I can mastermind, I can bring ideas, help one another, right? Encourage, motivate, inspire people. Where people feel comfortable coming to work and wanting to learn, wanting to help. That's the type of culture, right? So it really resonates with me because again, imagine if all of us were all happy. New people that come in, it's like, man, this is a place that everyone is just so chilled and happy. I would work here. Okay. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here. Yeah. All right, that's okay. All right, so let's see here. We do role playing almost every day, also online between 8:30 and 9:30 during the week. Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, Richard Chung also does role playing too as well. I encourage you. He's one of our top agents out of the Long Beach office. I'm assuming, yeah, Richard Chung. And super guy. I mean, the guy is spot on when it comes to knowing how to maneuver conversation. So if you want to have a dose on a daily basis, then I would jump on that. Usually the first thing we want to do whenever good news comes is to share it. Right. Absolutely. Thank you for sharing.
That 8:30 is like through Zoom?
Yes. Yeah, through Zoom. All right. I know I threw a lot at you. Any ahas? Anything you'd like to share so far? We got less than 30 minutes. Well, a little over 30 minutes. Anything that resonates with you, makes sense? Yes.
Buying real estate can give you instant equity, like
Repeat the question?
buying real estate can give you instant equity, like what can we buy?
Yeah. So the question here is buying real estate that can give you instant equity, okay? Well, finding a property that's in really bad condition. Okay? The uglier, the smellier, the better. Okay? Yeah, you want to find that diamond in the rough. Ugly house in a beautiful community. Okay? A community that may have wide streets, tree-lined street, no fences on their properties, right? All yards are open. It feels like a very safe neighborhood. People are moving, they like the schools, there's a lot of restaurants. It doesn't have to be the most expensive neighborhood, because every city has their own pocket of good area and bad area. Torrance has great areas, Torrance has bad areas. Hawthorne has good areas, Hawthorne has bad areas. Lawndale has good areas, Lawndale has bad areas. Redondo Beach has good areas, Redondo Beach also has some good areas. Find and identify that niche, right? But if you can find a great property, right, that needs a lot of work, you can build sweat equity. Because if you can buy it for less than what the value of that property, okay, you bought a property with instant equity. I've done that many, many times. Many, many times. Okay, I offer, would I feel comfortable making an offer? And then if you put a little bit of cosmetic work to it, will do wonders to a house. It's like buying an old car, but you know it's worth a lot of money if you do a little bit of handwork, right? You wash it, get the carpets clean, you take out the seats and really scrub the ins and out. You pressure wash the engine, you take out the wheels and really do the details. You clean the vehicle. That car now is going to give you more money. Well, real estate is the same elements to it. Now, not all properties are going to give you instant equity. Okay. But there are properties there that if you do it correctly, you'll find and you'll have instant equity. I've seen transactions where the buyer has $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 of instant equity by buying it. It's unfortunate because the listing agent didn't know the area and undervalued it. Okay, but it's not our job. We made an offer, the seller accepted the offer, and we run with it. Okay. Thank you for sharing. What else? Yes.
So you said find your niche, right? What if I like to focus more into commercial? How
Okay.
do I get there? Because most of the trainings, callings are focusing on residential. Well, which path do I take to get to commercial?
Yeah. So if you want to focus on commercial, yeah, you need to align yourself with agents that do commercial. And again, there's several elements to commercial, right? Is it commercial multifamily, commercial retail, commercial industrial, commercial land? So whatever that looks and niche that you want will resonate who you need to align yourself. Now, remember, Keller Williams is mostly focused on residential. Okay, that's what we're known for is residential. But if you want to tap into commercial, Keller Williams has a commercial division that you can be a member of. They have the resources, they have the platforms that you can enjoy. And there's a lot of masterminds and conversations, Zooms and classes that you can take here or in other parts of the estates too, where you can take advantage of, commercial. But in essence, I would say first, get your feet wet in residential. And if you just don't feel that residential, then I would transition into the commercial realm. Because commercial is more complex. There's a lot less emotion, longer process to sell, because sometimes properties can take years before they sell. But the commission spreads are a lot higher too. You can do one deal and make a lot of money. One of our agents a couple of years back sold a commercial building in downtown Los Angeles for $425 million. $420 million. One deal, one commercial building. Okay. If you do the math at 420 times 2.5%. Just to give you a rough idea. And let's just say it's 1%. 1% of 420 million. Do the math on it. 420, 1%.
420,000?
420,000 times 1%.
4,200.
No, that's not it.
420 million?
420 million, my
Oh,
apologies.
It's 4,200,000. For 1%, right?
Yeah, 420 million times 1%.
4.2 million.
Yeah, 4.2 million.
Imagine that. That's a lot of money. Guess what? The process is probably a 30, 45-day deal. Yeah, serious money. So I hope that kind of answers your question. Anyone else have a question?
So the other day we talked about 1031 exchanges. So when it comes to investing into property, is it smarter to put them with your 1031 exchange when you're barely getting them? So then that way you get this.
A 1031 exchange is only when you own the investment and now you're trying to defer the capital gain taxes to buy something of similar or greater value. So when you buy a property first, you're not going to do a 1031, but if you hold that asset as an investment, and then in the near future, that property is worth more money and have a lot of equity, and you want to defer it by buying an investment property. Yeah, we had Marcus that came in last week at our sales meeting. He was talking about 1031 exchange. Yeah. Question on Zoom. Come on.
Hi, I'm a brand new agent. As you know, I got my license just over a week ago. And
Yes.
while I'm waiting to get my business card, website, and I work remotely, I live in Glendora. My team is based in Torrance. What suggestions do you have for me to jump in and basically start playing as part of the team?
Yeah, very good question. Well, again, because of the location, you want to start with the basics, right? Start with having your business cards. Get your website all in alignment, right? Get everything up to 100%. Because remember, your database and your website are going to be part of your tool chest. Your business cards are going to be your billboards, okay? Think of your business card as a billboard out in the street, right? When you're driving on the freeway, when you're driving on the city, you see these marketing billboards, right? Well, your business cards are also going to be your marketing billboard, right? How do we start identifying and working with buyers and sellers, right? So I would start with the basic stuff to get some momentum and traction. Also, too, check in with your team on a regular basis, making sure you're part of their meetings. What inventories do they have? What open houses can you facilitate? What's happening within the team that you can be of work? And the cool thing is, everything through COVID has changed the way we do business now. Now we have a lot of, like right now, 20 years ago, we didn't have Zoom. Now you can be in the comfort of your home or location and still take advantage without physically being in the office, right? That's the cool thing about Zoom. So those are some of the parameters that I would take advantage right now to get some traction in your business. I hope that kind of answers your question.
Thank you.
Was there someone else that had their hand? Okay. Usually the first thing we want to do whenever good news comes in is to share it. Yep. This is my third Ignite series, and every time I understand the importance of going back to basics. Yep. 100%. The cool thing is, every instructor has their own way and style. Okay. Not that it's perfect in any way, shape, or form, but we just have our own way of looking at things, right? Tomorrow, when you hear that instructor, he or she is going to have a different perspective in a different way in how they see things, right? That's the cool thing about, the Ignite curriculum is that everyone has their unique way of presenting, their way of maneuvering life experience, right? And the awesome part of it, even though the process is always going to be the same, the cool thing, ladies and gentlemen, is that you go on the listing for a $500,000 home, it's the same process on a $50 million home as well. So it's not that, it's more complicated. Now, the level of conversations may be a little different, right? You're going to have a more sophisticated client because they know how to play the game of real estate. But the process is always the same. Does that make sense? So that's the exciting feel, is that I want you to get excited about that, because imagine if you are that one that gets a $5-10 million listing, right? That's going to change the trajectory in that excitement, right? Or if you do 500 or $1 million deals, that's okay, but do them consistently. Okay. All right. So next we're going to talk about culture. All right. So KW culture. Some of the stuff that we have here, which is exciting: diversified equity and inclusion. We're going to be having Red Day. Our Red Day events are off the chart. We usually have them here at the Wilson Park in Torrance, and we get back to the disabled young adults. And we've just spent a whole day giving back to the community. That's what Red Day is all about. KW Cares, as an example, too. KW Cares, with all the devastations that has happened about the East End fires, KW Care stepped up and started giving money to the agents that lost properties. Wealth building, profit share, how to say things that you, and thank you for helping you grow the company. KW Kids, KW Wellness, what is culture, rent relief, family feud, right? So these are some of the components, right, that makes us different than a lot of real estate companies. And that's why I align myself with a company that gives back, but also is a family-oriented company. All right, so your MVP is mission, vision, values, and belief and perspective, you know, and we fall into the core of this. So mission, to build careers worth having, businesses worth owning, lives worth living, experiences worth giving, and legacies worth living, okay? You should embed this in your mind because this is so awesome to see this, right? To build careers, right? All of us want to build amazing careers. Businesses where we own, right? That's the awesome part of building a platform for an entrepreneur and the ability to treat it like a business. And then lives worth living, right? The awesome part that real estate can provide us with a different type of lifestyle. And then experiences worth giving, right? All of our experiences, right? But ultimately the legacy, right? When you're ready to exit real estate, but you build this amazing real estate portfolio, right? Because you've done the right things. That's what makes real estate so exciting. And then our belief system, okay? And these are the way we see it, right? The WI4C2Ts. Win-win or no deal. Integrity, do the right thing. Customers always come first. Commitment in all things. Communication, seek first to understand. Creativity, ideas before results. Teamwork, together everyone achieves more. Trust starts with honesty, equity, opportunities for all. Success results through people, okay? You know, Red Day again. Renew, energize, and donate. KW Cares, KW Kids, just some of the organizations that we have as part of KW. Okay, we'll skip on that. KW Value and Market Center. So let's go into this, right? The largest global real estate franchise. So top franchise for veterans was in 2021. Top female-friendly company. Top 500 franchises in 2022. World's Best Employer, 2021. America's Best Customer Experience, 2022. America's Best Employers for Women and New Grads. Best Employers for Diversity, 2021, and more. Okay, some of our achievements. And these are things that you can, you know, really have as part of your arsenal and part of your presentation. Because you're doing is selling yourself on why they should choose you, with the backing and the power of Keller Williams, right? You already have the infrastructure, right? You have an awesome office that you can come and collaborate. You can come and network. You can come and mastermind. You can team up and hold each other accountable. You can be part of training. You can do meet with your clients, right? This is all for you. This is all for you, okay? You're the vessel that's navigating the deals to put them together. And we're just the infrastructure of helping you make you shine in the office to do your business. Oops. Okay, training and coaching, connect and connect live, local and regional training, events, family reunion, which some of us in the next couple of weeks, we're going to be going to family reunion. In August, we have Mega Camp, Keller Williams University, Ignite, which is what you're a part of. And remember, you can download all of the curriculum through our KW Hub. The scripts you can download through our KW Hub. So I would encourage you, you know, after class, you know, just read the content in the material and come back with questions, because there may be something that you may not understand may not know, but having that conversation, Simon, I had a question regarding this. Can you illustrate it or explain it to me a little better? Oh, yeah, I can break it down for you. A lot of stuff on command training, KW Maps, and then Bold. Last year we had Bold and it was awesome. It was in San Pedro. We had an amazing instructor. And we're going to be launching that, I believe, in maybe June, May or June of this year. All right, so command your integrated end-to-end Keller cloud platform for running and growing your business. If you haven't dabbled into your command, I highly recommend, because this is like your virtual assistants without paying for it. Your association, your monthly dues pays for this virtual assistant. This is your website, your smart plans, your landing pages, your referrals, your contacts, your schedules and tasks and goals that you want to provide. You can do all of your marketing here. You're just sold, just listed, coming soon, pending, open house. All of it can be done through your command platform. Okay, highly recommend that you dive deep, play with the system. Okay, it's like growing up. You know, as a kid, I used to have Atari. I used to have Nintendo, right? And I used to love playing, especially those games that were challenging, right? Well, the only way I started getting better and better is I plugged into the system, right? So consider this as a plug and play, right? The more you're interacting with command, the better you're going to understand the elements and how to navigate. But we also have the resources and also trainers like Scott Leroy that can give you trainings, YouTubes, and all that fun stuff. You also have command app. You're integrated into a cloud platform for running and growing your business. All of you, if you haven't yet, you can plug in your app to your phone, and a lot of the stuff that your tasks, your due soon, past due, all of it, if you're not in front of your computer, you can also go to your app as well. KW Value, referrals, Market Center values, language of what we call the lore, right? Language of real estate. And this is something that we always talk about on our monthly meetings, is how many closed units, how many closed values, listings taken, listings taken value, listing sold value, contracts written value, and then close commission GCI. So again, you just want to see where the vitals of the office is, you know, and all of this information you can always ask as part of your presentation when talking to a buyer, talking to a seller, is here are our market stats. This is how many units we closed last year. This is the sales value that we did, because again, it's a team effort. Because let's just say, for example, if they ask, well, have you sold anything? What are you going to say when you don't have any production? You haven't sold anything.
Well, our office has some.
Yeah, exactly. You leverage the office. Okay, and it's perfectly fine to say, like, you know, I just started with KW 2 weeks ago. But that's not going to stop me. It only motivates me. But let me show you what my company did last year. 700 sales last year. 565 million in sales value. We had so many listings that were sold, so many contents that were written. So there's a lot of experience in my office that I can plug in. Rest assured, I'm here and I'm going to be diligent, but I want to work for you. Who's not going to want to do business with you guys? Think outside the box a little bit. Don't get discouraged. Well, I can't do it because I don't have any sales. I get it. We all started with no sales. I'm the first one. A lot of the instructors started with no sales, but they eventually got into production. That's the goal of getting you all into production. So one day you can be up here teaching a class to all of the young entrepreneurs or people that are in real estate, because you've been there. Does that make sense? Okay. Market center value, right? So mission, vision, values, all of this is part of what we have at our KW Hub. Profit share, we usually talk about it at our ALC. We'll skip Ahas, KW Resources. So the cool thing about being part of an office is we have a lot of communities. We have a lot of different platforms that you can take full advantage of, right? We have KW, we have KW Worldwide, we have Keller Mortgage, Keller Manage, Keller Cover, Keller Offers. And then we have communities such as KW Commercial, KW Military, KW Sports and Entertainment, KW Hispanics, KW Asians. We have them all, folks. That's the cool thing is you can plug to a specific community that you want to be part of. On command, you can make websites in 5 minutes for free. Thank you. It's the last tab on the left, consumer. Thank you, thank you, thank you. See, this guy I love, he's so plugged in. So here are some of the communities: diversity, equity, inclusion, commercial, land, luxury, military, new homes, sports and entertainment, and also young professionals, is to say the least. Your career vision. Okay. Let me go back here, sorry. All right, your vision in your future. Today is 1 year from now. Your business is thriving and your life is everything you've dreamed of. Your customers rave about the experience and value provided and think of you when they have a real estate need. Your family and friends are so proud of your success and are consistently referring business your way. You're helping others live their dreams of owning a home because you are focused on helping them get what they desire. You are building the foundation and the momentum of your entire career in gaining relationships and experiences and the income you desire. You are the top agent in your market center or a rookie of the year if you're new. You're poised to hire a part-time assistant to handle your 80% while you take care of your 20% that grows your business. You are on path to, and then fill in the rest, okay? I would say do this at home, take a snapshot of this, and just put something in writing. Because I can tell you, the people that are plugged in and are doing the task and homework assignment will ultimately see faster results than if you're not. You got to dream big. You got to want it. But you also have to take ownership of it. Because at the end of the day it's not what I say. It's not what the other instructors say. It's what you can do for yourself at the end of the day. I don't have that guarantee certificate, that guarantee pill, magic sauce, magic wand that says, I guarantee that you're going to succeed at a very, very high level. I don't have that guarantee. But what I do have is, the ability to support the office, to support you. And it's a give and take. You got to buy into it as much as we buy into you. That's where you're going to see the results. But if you take that vision of what this is going to look like in 5, 10 years from now, this is a great homework assignment. Is the goal here is to be one of the top agents. When you're part of our award ceremony, right? And we acknowledge your results from last year. Are you one of the top agents that got recognized, right? What a good feeling when you're in front of all producers and you're one of them that got a flag, a recognition, right? Maybe you're the rookie of the year and we give certificates for the agent that started where you are, but ultimately started closing deals, and we recognize the rookie of the year. It may not be this year, but it may be in the near future. Own up to it. Take ownership. Okay. That's where you're going to start seeing momentum into your business. Your big life. Here's an example diagram. Mom and dad pay off mortgage. Get through school debt of 120, Sarah and Hunter. Donate cat habit 5,000, okay? So the beauty is, imagine after your net paying your taxes, you come home with $364,000 of commission, right? What would you do with that money? How would you support your big life? What would that look like? Because I know my life would be different than your life. But again, these are just some exercise that I want you to get encouraged and motivated and excited. Because the reality is you can make serious money in real estate. Does that make sense? To achieve success, you need motivation and inspiration from doing it. That's your big life. Where your commission dollar goes, your market center, business expenses, taxes, and your take-home money. Okay. That's kind of the sample. So an example income goal, right? Net income goal, right? If your net income means after all expenses, you want to net 100,000. Okay. Company dollar and royalty. Okay. And this is just an example, an illustration. Business expenses, total gross commission, your total commission fees, and then your annual transaction goal. Okay. All right, so training. Second. Oops. Training gets better with feedbacks. Give yours at kwuib.com if you want. KW Cares, get involved. Okay, even if it's $1, you know, it definitely goes a long way. Gary Keller has KW Next Gen. All right. I think that pretty much concludes the curriculum. And remember, part of the daily success system is, you know, it's a contact sport, right? Meaning, if you're not making a minimum conversation about real estate on a regular basis, you're not going to see the results. That's simple. You can be anywhere, at a restaurant, at the market, at a park, at a movie theater. You know, if you listen to some of the top agents in the office, they wiggle their way into a conversation to ultimately give their business card. They don't go immediately into real estate conversation because that may be a little awkward, but they end the conversation. Hey, if I can ever be of help, please reach out to me. That simple business card can give you big results from it. So I would encourage all of you, if you have not yet, buy your business cards. Buy your business cards. It's a small cost for what it can return in your investment. Right, Jeff?
Last person asked me for toilet paper, hand me my card first.
Yeah. That's Jim Sapula, one of our top agents in the office, coming in.
There's always a reason why to give your business card out. If you're in the business, this is what you do. You're on commission. So people, the more crap you throw at the wall, people, something's bound to stick. So don't discount anybody. So give your card, you know, don't try to sell them and say, hey, are you interested in buying a house? Just, the way to do it is casually do it. And then before you leave, say, this is my card. If you need any help with real estate ever, just give me a call.
That's right. Powerful conversations get results. Lead gen, uncover motivation, identify objections, close deals, speak in terms that the customer understand, and then build the confidence. Okay. Remember, at the end of the day, you got to think outside the box. There's a solution to every matter, right? Remember the hot, warm, and cold mentality or philosophy, right? Find the trigger points and the pain points of an individual's motivation to buy, sell, and invest, And then you just maneuver those conversations because ultimately what the end goal is for them to work with us or me or you, okay? Purpose and benefits of conversation. Did you find everything you were looking for? Go ahead, look around, and please let me know if I can help you. I see you admire that the big screen TV. Are you looking to get one for the big game this weekend? Yeah, hey, Super Bowl's next weekend, right? Next Sunday. So again, just some of the conversations you should be having. Sphere definition, people you have met in one way, shape, or form. And then catch your sphere on the move, right? The likelihood of a move and then timing, right? Again, going back, most people within, I would say 5 to 7 years usually are making a move. Okay, 5 to 7 years. Once you're part of the MLS, you can now do stats and find areas where you see a lot of movement, right? Where sellers are selling properties, buyers are buying properties. So that may be an area that you want to focus because the likelihood that someone may want to sell is higher than an area that is stable and doesn't see a lot of sales transaction, right? And that's important because you don't want to spend so much time, effort, and energy in an area where generational wealth just gets passed on to family, they never sell the property. And there's areas that, properties stay in the family for years and years and years. You want to find and identify areas where there's constant movement, right? Your bread and butter neighborhoods, right? The lower areas where you see a lot of movement. That's where you're going to start seeing momentum and obviously revenue, okay? Because we're not in the real estate babysitting, right? We're not here to babysit homes. We're here to sell homes. Yes, Jim.
I've found some new agents are very, very smart. They went to their title companies and they said, hey, I want all owners over 65 that are in 2-story houses. And she marketed them and got many listings because they couldn't walk up the stairs anymore.
Yeah. Here's a quick sample that you should be doing. Practice the Ford method. Write this down, take a photo, practice the Ford method, okay? F stands for family, O stands for occupation, R stands for recreations, and then D stands for dreams. Okay, let me go back just to make sure. Okay, all of these are part of your job. Okay. Let's see, any early mentor mine says your business cards represent money. Absolutely, thank you. Well said. Great, aha. Our office top producers and sellers of over 700 last year. Yep, awesome. But again, the Ford method is really a practical component to what we do, folks. And what I mean is that, families, right? Who can you start having conversation that is thinking to expand? Maybe it's a growing family, right? They need a bigger place, right? Or maybe the children have already left the house, right? And now the parents are looking to downsize, right? Occupations, how many times people get promotions, people start a new job, new career, right? Now their income and changes, right? Where now that's an opportunity. Recreations, maybe someone has a lot of toys, boat, RV, right? And needs a bigger place or is looking for a swimming pool. So think of how you can maneuver those conversations to lead them to work with you. And then dreams, right? All of us are big dreamers, right? We always dream of, having what we desire. And all of us have our own unique way of looking at it. But also, what if someone won the lotto? And they says, I want to buy. And they pick you, David, as the agent of choice. And then when you ask, well, what's your budget? And they say, I don't have a budget.
It's your favorite customer.
Exactly. All right, so how has your thinking changed? What ideas or mindset were new? What do you feel differently about what was meaningful for today? How would your behavior be different going forward? What actions will you take? What tools, models, or systems will you use? And how will they make you accountable? All right, and that pretty much concludes our class. Tomorrow will be session 2, Embrace Your Job. Thank you, everyone. I really appreciate you. Everyone on Zoom, thank you very much for being here. If you have any questions, please feel free to, reach out. And I will see you on the next.
Thank you so much. This was awesome.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you. I
Thank you
appreciate
very
it.
much. Thank you.
Have a
Thank you,
great day,
guys.
everybody.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm gonna show you where you can, we have, rapido signs that you can use signs. So, I'll show you right now when you can, reach out to.
So it's not like on the website. It's not through the hub.
I think it is, but I think, I can show you where the pamphlets are at.
Awesome.
Okay, just give me a minute. Thanks, everyone.
Log into Zoom.